So welcome back. This is the part 3 of the lecture gout. This part will in this part we will discuss how to manage a patient of gout or management of gout. For management of gout, there is actually three principles. First of all, how to treat the acute attack. So there has to be a symptomatic management. How to lower the serum uric acid concentration and how to prevent further attack. This is three principles. So first, treatment of acute attack, prophylaxis against serum uric acid and prevention of further attack. So for acute gout, we can use colchicine 0.5 milligram 2 to 3 times daily, and oral NSAID might be helpful. Oral steroid may be given 15 to 20 milligram daily. Intramuscular methylprednisolone may also be given. Local ice pack can be given. Joint aspiration may be done, and intra-articular glucocorticoids may be given. So actually this treatment, acute symptomatic treatment, will be individualized. If the patient responds well with the colchicine, then no further medication might be given or required. We might add NSAID, we might add steroid, and we might go for intra-articular injection, or we might go for, in fact, even for intramuscular injection of steroids. So these are just few symptomatic management. So we have to upgrade or escalate our management according to the patient's need or requirement, or according to the severity of the presentation. So this is acute management. Then what is the prophylaxis? How can we further treat the patient for to reduce the serum uric acid lowering agent? So for a single attack, usually no prophylaxis is required. So when the prophylaxis is required, it's usually if there is more than one acute attack within a time span of 12 months. And if there is complications of gout, like if we found bony erosion, or if there is evidence that there is nephrolithiasis or nephropathy, then we might have to go for the prophylaxis. So the therapeutic target is 5 to 6 milligram per deciliter of blood. What are the drugs here to lower the serum uric acid? Number one is xanthine oxidase inhibitor, allopurinol and febuxostat. There are also some criteria when allopurinol or when febuxostat should be used. There are some uricosuric drugs, probenecid, sulfenpyrazole, benzbromaron. These are rarely used actually, and pegloticase. One thing we have to remember, if we start a serum uric acid lowering agent, we have to continue this almost indefinitely. So we have to be careful before starting this drug. Why? Because if there is no clear-cut indication, and if we start prematurely, these drugs also have some side effects, and one drug has to be taken for the entire life. That is a problematic situation. So before we start, we have to be sure that there is appropriate indication for starting these drugs. And one other important aspects of treating or prophylaxis for gout is the lifestyle measurements, lifestyle modification, we might say. So what are those things? Like weight loss if appropriate, if the patient is having metabolic syndrome, or not metabolic syndrome but the patient is obese, then weight reduction might be helpful. reduce excessive alcohol intake, especially beer. And if we see from our first lecture, there are some food which might enhance the concentration of uric acid. So, avoidance of red meat, offal and seafood may be advisable. There is one thing here, that the latest guideline from the American College of Rheumatology, ACR guideline for the treatment of gout, there is actually no there is no strict restriction of diet. The portion size might be reduced, but there is no strict dietary modification. The portion size should be reduced. So, you might hear in some cases or in some instances that some of our patients has been advised to not to take lots of beans, legumes, lots of spinach and other vegetables, and many other food has been restricted. That is also okay, because previously it was thought that restricting all kinds of this food will be helpful to the patient, but current evidence doesn't suggest that. So, if we consider evidence based medicine and current guideline of the ACR, it has it has suggested that extensive dietary restriction is not helpful. Dietary modification might be done, and this dietary modification should be done in case of dairy products, maybe red meat, seafood, offals, beers, in these sectors. And for all kinds of vegetables and other products, actually dietary modification is also not required that much. We should also consider there are some drugs which might increase uric acid concentration, like thiazide diuretics, pyrazinamide, ACE inhibitor and beta blockers. And there are some drugs which actually reduce uric acid, like losartan potassium and angiotensin receptor blockers. So, before I end this lecture, I think this is a very important discussion for us. Indications for urate lowering drugs. In many instances, we have seen that the urate lowering drug has been prescribed. Actually, there is not much options for giving uric acid lowering drugs. There are few indications. Recurrent acute attack of acute gout. We have already said what has been said about this, like 2 attacks in a year. For if there is a single attack, usually there is no need to start uric acid lowering drug. So, at least 2 attacks in a year. So, and if more frequent attack, then that is a different issue, but there has to be at least 2 attacks, and 2 attacks within a year to begin the uric acid lowering drugs. Evidence of bone or joint damage. There is no acute attack, but we have found bone or joint damage. In that case, the evidence of tophi, or there is tophi, there is renal impairment, and there is nephrolithiasis. And with these things, if there is a high uric acid concentration and there is a strong family history of renal disease or nephrolithiasis, in that case urate lowering drugs might be given. So, if we see these lectures, the management of gout, we will find that there are some lifestyle modification. What are these lifestyle modification? If the patient is suffering from metabolic syndrome or obesity, in that case weight reduction will be helpful, along with exercise and diet that is required for helpful for metabolic syndrome. So, there is a portion which is associated with metabolic syndrome and obesity. In that case, weight reduction and exercise is helpful. And other thing is that other dietary lifestyle modification is that dietary modification. So, what are those diet? Seafood, offal, meat, alcohol, beers. So, if we reduce the intake of these food, that might be also helpful. Previous idea of restricting many kinds of beans and vegetables is no longer suggested by the American College of Rheumatology's latest guideline. So, if we say that what is the evidence, we might say no, dietary exclusive restriction of diet or specific food is not required. Few food might be reduced in portion size and other food might be taken as before, and exercise is helpful. So, these are the lifestyle modification. Along with that, there are some urate lowering drugs like xanthine oxidase inhibitors, uricosuric drugs, and there is peglotic acid. So, when will we give the urate lowering agents? That is a very important aspect of these lectures. First of all, if there is recurrent acute attack, for this recurrent acute attack, there is a basic cutoff. What is that? 2 acute attack in a year. That is the lowest range. Before that, it should not be started. If there is evidence that there is bone or joint damage, tophi, renal impairment, nephrolithiasis, and if there is asymptomatic high serum uric acid concentration along with strong family history of renal disease or nephrolithiasis, these are the conditions where we can start urate lowering agents. So, I think we are having an understanding how to treat a patient of gout. So, this is part 3. In part 1, we have discussed, we are having an overview of gout. In part 2, we have discussed about clinical presentation and investigations, and in part 3, we discussed how to manage a patient of gout. So, I think we are having an with these 3 small lectures, we might have an understanding of gout. So, that is all for today. Thank you everyone.